हेलो फ्यूचर जजेस। आज हम एचपी जुडिशरी के लिए 2023 का पेपर नंबर 1 यानी सिविल लॉ करेंगे। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ सूट ऑफ सिविल नेचर? ऑप्शन नंबर ए, सूट इन विच द राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी इज कंटेस्टेड। ऑप्शन नंबर बी, सूट इन विच द राइट टू ऑफिस इज कंटेस्टेड। ऑप्शन नंबर सी, सूट रिलेटिंग टू taking out of a religious procession. And option number D, suit against expulsion from caste. Correct answer is option number D, that is suit against expulsion from caste. So it is not a suit of civil nature. Question number 2, choose the correct alternative from the assertions and reasons. Assertion is a suit may be barred from the cognizance of the civil court on the ground of public policy. Reason is a court should not countenance matters injurious to and against the public weal. So the correct answer for this is that both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 3, which of the following situation is covered under the principle of constructive res judicata? So constructive res judicata is provided under section 11 explanation 4. C is the right answer. Question number 4, choose the correct alternative from the assertion and reasons. Assertion is civil court's jurisdiction should be readily inferred unless expressly provided under any statute. This is correct. Reason is there is no presumption in favor of the court's jurisdiction. This is wrong because there is a presumption in favor of the court's jurisdiction. So the correct answer would be C. A is true and R is false. Question number 5. Plaintiff P presents his plaint in the court of original jurisdiction against defendant. The defendant resists the plaint, claiming that the matter in issue is also directly and substantially in issue in a previously instituted suit between the same parties in the United Kingdom. After hearing the parties on res sub judice, the court exercised the power contained in section 151 and stays the proceedings. Choose the correct response with respect to section 10 of the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. So the order of the court is illegal as it violates the power contained under section 10. Option number B is the order is illegal as section 10 prohibits the institution of suit and the trial. Option number C is suit pending in foreign jurisdiction can't be considered in India. Option number D is the order is legal as the court can stay a suit in the interest of justice. So, friends, section number 10 provides that a suit pending in foreign jurisdiction can't be considered in India. But here in this case, the court has stayed the proceedings under section 151. So they won't be governed by the provisions given in section 10. Hence, the answer is D. The order is legal as the court can stay a suit in the interest of justice. Question number 6. In which of the following cases a foreign judgment will not be conclusive? So the grounds for this are given under section 13 of CPC, and as per it, all the above given grounds are correct. Question number 7. Choose the correct response. No objection as to the competence of a court with reference to the pecuniary limits of its jurisdiction shall be allowed by any appellate or revisional court unless 1. Such objection was taken in the court of the first instance and at the earliest possible opportunity. Second, such an objection was taken at or before the settlement of issues. Third, there has been a consequent failure of justice. So all these three conditions must coexist. So answer number D is the correct answer and it is given under section 21 of CPC. Question number 8. Where the former suit was dismissed because of the principle of res judicata will apply option A, want of jurisdiction. Option B, non-joinder of parties. Option C, misjoinder of parties. Option D, relief claimed but not granted. So in this case, res judicata will only apply in the case of D, relief claimed but not granted. And it is given under explanation 5 of section 11 of CPC. Question number 9. Where the appellant has withdrawn the appeal filed against a decree passed ex parte, his application under Order 9 Rule 13 shall be option number A rejected, B returned, C maintainable, D none of the above. So, as the appeal has been withdrawn, so application would be maintainable. Option C is the right answer. Question number 10. Which of the following provisions deals with interpleader suit? So they are provided under Order 35. Option D is the correct answer. Question number 11. A document shall be deemed to be admitted where? Option number A. A party is called upon to admit, fails to deny specifically or by necessary implication. B. A party is called upon to admit, fails to deny in the pleading. Option C. Fails to deny in reply to the notice to admit documents. So the correct answer would be D. That is, all the above statements are true. Question number 11. With respect to abatement of suit under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, which of the following is incorrect? Option A. No abatement by party's death if the right to sue survives. It is correct. Option number B. In case of more than one plaintiff or defendant is there, the death of one plaintiff or defendant will not result in abatement of the suit if the right to sue survives. This is also correct. Option number C. In case of death of the sole defendant where the right to sue survives, the correct court shall allow a legal representative of the said defendant to become party to the suit. This is also true. Option number D. The legal representation of the deceased defendant will not be allowed to file an additional written statement or statement of objection, even though such statement objections could have been raised by the deceased defendant. So, this is wrong. The legal representative can file additional written statement. Hence, the correct answer would be D. Question number 13. Which of the following are not entitled to exemption from personal appearance under the Code of Civil Procedure? President of India, public officer, woman who according to the custom and manners of the country ought not to be compelled to appear in public, member of parliament. So the correct answer is D, member of parliament. Question number 14. Which of the following is not correctly matched? Order 3, recognized agents and pleaders. Order 10, examination of parties by court. Order 13, admissions. So this is incorrectly matched, as order 13 deal with impounding of document, whereas admissions are given in order number 12. C is the correct answer. Question number 15. Which of the following provision of CPC deal with appointment of a receiver? So it is given under order 40. Option B is the correct answer. Question number 16. Choose the correct assertion and reasons. Where a plaintiff omits to sue in respect of or intentionally relinquishes any portion of his claim, he shall not afterwards sue for the portion so omitted or relinquished. Reason: every litigation must reach its finality. So, for this, A would be the correct answer, as both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 17. Which of the following provisions of CPC 1908 deals with revision? So, revision is given under section 115. D is the correct answer. Question number 18. Which of the following provisions deal with inherent powers of civil court? It is given under section 151. Option B is the correct answer. Question number 19. Under section 64 of CPC 1908, a private alienation of property after attachment is C, void. Question number 20. Which of the following section of CPC makes it mandatory to serve notice in writing only? So it is given under section 142. Option B is the right answer. Question number 21. Order 32 of CPC deal with suit by or against minor, suit by or against person of unsound mind. Option C is the correct answer, both A and B. Question number 22. In a suit for specific performance of a contract, the plaintiff has not claimed any compensation for its breach in addition to such specific performance. If in such suit, the court is of the opinion that specific performance ought to be granted, and to do justice, some compensation for breach of contract should also be awarded to the plaintiff, choose the most appropriate response. Option number A: no compensation can be granted since no such claim is there from the plaintiff. Option B: notwithstanding the claim, a court can grant compensation using inherent power. Option C: plaintiff should be allowed to amend the plaint at the earliest and claim compensation. Option D: plaintiff should be allowed to amend the plaint at any stage of proceeding and claim compensation. So option D is the right answer, and it is given under section 21 of Specific Relief Act. Question number 23. Under section 20 of Specific Relief Act, no substituted performance of the contract shall be undertaken unless the party who suffers due to breach of a contract has given a notice in writing of how many days? So option B is the correct answer, 30 days. Question number 24. In the case of substituted performance of contract by a third party in accordance with the provision of Specific Relief Act, which of the following is incorrect? Option number A: after the substituted performance, a claim of specific performance is maintainable. This is wrong. Option number B: after the substituted performance, a claim form compensation is not maintainable. This is also wrong because after the substituted performance also we can claim for compensation. So this question was deleted as two options were correct. Question number 25. Under section 6 of the Specific Relief Act, if any person is dispossessed without his consent of immovable property by the government in the exercise of law in force, he or any person through whom he has been in possession or any person claiming through him may by suit recover possession of thereof, such suit must be filed within. So option D is correct because such suit cannot be filed as no suit can lie under section 6 against the government. Question number 26. Which of the following is incorrect with respect to section 34 of Specific Relief Act? Option number A: any person entitled to any legal character or any right as to any property may institute a suit against any person denying his title to such character or right. Option number B: the court may in its discretion make therein a declaration that he is so entitled. Option number C: the plaintiff need not in such a suit ask for any further relief. So all these statements are correct as per section 34. Option number D: the court shall make such declaration where the plaintiff, being able to seek further relief than a mere declaration of title, omits to do so. So this is the incorrect answer. Option number D. Which of the following provision of Specific Relief Act deals with perpetual injunction? So section number 38, option number B is the correct answer. In case where Mr. X applies for an injunction to prevent the breach of a contract, the performance of which would not be specifically enforced, the court shall refuse to grant an injunction in such a matter because section number 14 clause E provides for the same. With respect to estoppel, which of the following is incorrect? Option number C, because estoppel is not applicable against the statute. Question number 13. With respect to section 165 of Indian Evidence Act, which of the following is incorrect? Option number A, the judge may, to discover or to obtain proper proof of relevant facts, ask any question he pleases. Option number B, such question may be asked to any witness or parties about any fact. Option number C, the question asked must be relevant question only. So this is incorrect because the judge may ask irrelevant question under section 165. Section 31, question number 31. Which of the following is incorrect with respect to circumstantial evidence? So option number C is incorrect because the circumstances must unerringly pointing towards the guilt of the accused, not innocence. Question number 32. The defense counsel intend to cross-examine and contradict the person who lodged the first information report before the police and who is called as a witness. The defense can do so Option number A is correct only after showing the contents of the FIR as provided under Section 145 of Indian Evidence Act. Question number 33. Which of the following is not subject to the rule of relevancy? So examination in chief, B cross examination, C re-examination, D expert opinion. So in this, B is the correct answer, as in cross examination it is not subject to the rule of relevancy. Question number 34. Which of the following is a leading case law on privileged communication between husband and wife? Option number A, Ram Bharose versus State of UP is correct answer. Question number 35. Which of the following is not relevant under Section 14 of Indian Evidence Act? Knowledge, ill will, goodwill, character. So option number D is correct answer. Character is not relevant under Section 14. Which of the following is not covered as a relevant fact under Section 8 of the Indian Evidence Act? A. Motive. B. Previous and subsequent conduct. C. Preparation. D. Cause and effect. D is the correct answer. At it is relevant under Section 7, not Section 8. Question number 37. Which of the Indian Evidence Act would cover the test identification parade? So it is covered by Section 9. Option B is the correct answer. Question number 38. In which of the following cases does the Supreme Court permit the recording of evidence through video conferencing? So this is a very landmark case. Option number A is correct. State of Maharashtra versus Praful B. Desai. Question number 39. Accused X, after committing murder, comes to his wife and discloses to her about the said murder. This communication is. Option number B is correct because it is relevant but inadmissible. Why is it inadmissible? Because of Section 122 of Indian Evidence Act. Question number 40. Husband and wife are competent witness against each other in. Option number C is correct. Both civil and criminal cases. Question number 41. Which of the following sections of the Indian Evidence Act propounds that admission are not conclusive proof of the matters admitted? Option number B. Section 31 provides for the same. Question number 42. Choose the correct alternative for assertion and reason. Assertion: a lunatic is not incompetent to testify. Reason: all persons are competent to testify unless prevented from understanding the question or cannot give rational answers to question due to tender years, extreme old age, disease, etc. So option number A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 43. A is on trial for the murder of C. There is evidence to show that C was murdered by A and B. And during the trial, B said A and I murdered C. This statement is. So, this situation is dealt with Section 30 of Indian Evidence Act. And this question was removed because none of the given options could have been applied properly to the question. Question number 44. When one fact is declared conclusive proof of another, which of the following is untrue? It is a mandatory presumption. B. It is an irrebuttable presumption. C. The court may, at its discretion, allow evidence to refute the presumption. So, this is incorrect. Question number 45. A document is transcribed from a copy of another document. After the transcribed copy is prepared, the same is compared with the copy of the original document under the Indian Evidence Act 1872. The transcription so prepared is. So C is the correct answer. Neither primary nor secondary evidence. Why? Because the transcription is compared with the copy of original document and not the original document. So it is not a secondary evidence. Question number 46. Which of the following provides for rule of res gestae? So it is given under Section 6. Option B is the correct answer. Question number 47. With respect to the burden of proof under Section 104 of Indian Evidence Act, choose the correct response. A. The prosecution wishes to prove a dying declaration by Y. B. The prosecution must prove Y's death. So both of these are correct, hence, option A is the right answer. Question number 48. Save as otherwise provided by any other law for the time being in force under Himachal Pradesh Courts Act. The court of the district judge shall have jurisdiction in all original civil suits, the value of which does not exceed. Option number D, 1 crore rupees, and it was amended by 2022 amendment. Question number 49. Which of the following is being power to confer the jurisdiction of small causes court to the court of civil judge? Option number B, High Court of Himachal Pradesh. Question number 15. With respect to Indian Stamp Act 1952, where in the case of any sale, several instruments are employed for completing the transaction, choose the incorrect response given below. So option B, the other instrument shall be chargeable with a duty of 1 rupee instead of duty if any prescribed for it in that schedule. It is incorrect. That's all, friends. So as you have seen that most of the questions has been asked from CPC, SRA and Indian Evidence Act, and only one question has been asked from Stamp Act. So you need to focus more on the major act, but at the same time, because as the cutoff will be very high, you cannot ignore the minor acts. Thank you. That's all.